The third Scorpius Rex came out of nowhere. That surprised Rexy, Blue, and Indoraptor. They waited too long, and it caused a third Scorpius Rex to be born. But it was incredible on how fast it grew up. It must have found a safe spot to camp, then scavenge on any dead carcasses of any other dinosaurs. Or possibly carcasses that the bigger and more mature Scorpius Rexes killed. Indoraptor and Blue can still tell which one was the original one. The one with the bite mark on its neck. But with the third Scorpius Rex, this was going to be a bit more challenging. Then suddenly, a fourth Scorpius Rex arrived. Now this was even more complicated than they previously thought. They could sit here and watch them battle it out. One Scorpius Rex grabs the other one by its leg and drags it around the floor. Or the original one starts slamming the second one on the floor 3 times. This was a fight getting out of control. But luckily for them, these were the only Scorpius Rexes on the island. But they'll have to do a double check to see if there's no babies. So our eggs left behind. But they realize that the fourth Scorpius Rex is actually a bit more smaller. They realize that it's a juvenile. Well, and it's actually trying to get away from the adults. But no matter how many times it tried, it kept on getting dragged back. Blue, Indoraptor, and Rexy almost feel sorry for the juvenile, but they know that it too is asexual and it will cause chaos on the island if they allow it to live. But since things were getting a bit more complicated, Rexy can't handle 4 Scorpius Rexes, let alone the venom. Will kill Rexy if Blue and Indoraptor don't find a cure. Indoraptor had to make a choice or decision. He had to rather, 1, lure the fire to the Mosasaurus paddock, so that way the Mosasaurus can possibly grab 2 of them in its mouth with their heads inside or possibly decapitated. Or he can spray the gasoline on the Scorpius Rexes and burn them alive. Both options needing him to use a fire as bait. Or just burn them. One option leads Indoraptor to burn them, while the other one means Indoraptor has to use a fire as bait again to lure the Scorpius Rexes to the Mosasaurus paddock. It was a tough decision, considering how little gasoline they have left. They used the majority of it to create the big fire, or to lure all 4 Scorpius Rexes to their location. He then made his decision. He was going to burn them. The fire will consume them quicker than the Mosasaurus. Luckily for Indoraptor, there was a second gas can. Well, a second gas lean container. Then he saw a gas canister and he saw how these worked. He had a better idea. He started rolling 3 of them and towards the battle. But the bad news was, the fire was getting put out. Indoraptor sprayed what little gasoline remained on the Scorpius Rexes. But they didn't care. All what they cared about was just fighting each other. They're not caring on who or what gets in between them. Then he lights the cigarette and tosses it in there. Then, boom, a large explosion happened, causing a huge fire. Luckily, Rexy, Blue, and Indoraptor are still alive, and no fire on them. But Scorpius Rexes, 2 of them have already dead, while the last 2 are trying to get away. But they didn't get far. Rexy, Blue, and Indoraptor both roar in triumph. They saved the island, and let alone they saved dinosaur kind. Now remains one more task that they need to do. Check for any eggs or offspring left behind. They checked everywhere around the island, to north, south, east, and west. They have found 2 nests, and they destroyed the eggs. That was it. They checked everywhere, and they even asked the pterosaurs for help. The pterosaurs confirmed no other eggs. So now, dinosaur kind was free, and only one hybrid remains on top, Indoraptor. Rexy said goodbye to her 2 companions as she begins to walk away. Indoraptor and Blue look at each other and they smile. They did the right thing. They saved dinosaur kind. And now, only one hybrid remains on this island, and that's Indoraptor. The dinosaurs start going calm again. And finally, herbivores and carnivores are no longer at the edge of the Scorpius Rexes. Now, they just remain a bad memory. Just remain in the past. But most dinosaur parents will tell their offspring not to wander too far away, or the Scorpius Rex will get them. More like a boogeyman story. Blue and Indoraptor find that nonsense. But then again, the Scorpius Rex did cause a huge amount of panic and chaos while it remained alive. So that's why dinosaurs have to be wary about them. Blue and Indoraptor decide to start a family together. And eventually, a new type of raptors and Indoraptors will be born. The Indoraptors will learn to respect other dinosaurs and not kill constantly. And only then, and truly then, will the dinosaurs accept them to the island, just like what they did with Indoraptor. With the threat of the Indominus Rex and the Scorpius Rex is gone, the island is restored. The Mosasaur continues to feed on any creatures that it can that get too close to its lagoon. Rexy remains the big bad queen of the dinosaurs and queen of the island. and all the other herbivores and carnivores do their daily routines. And for the two main heroes who decide to stand up to this new threat, Indoraptor and Baloo, with their children. 3 little raptors and 2 Indoraptors. One has been more darker color than Indoraptor, only having a greenish stripe. The other one looking completely almost identical to her mother, but having blue eyes and a red stripe. And lastly, the 3 little raptors almost remind Baloo of her sisters. But she's not alone anymore. She has her loving husband and her kids. And that is it. So, what did you think about this? Indoraptor versus Scorpius Rex? Tell me what you guys thought about it in the comments below. So, once again, this is more like my theory and my opinion on how the battle would have gone down. And yes, Indoraptor would play much more as a hero rather than a villain. Because I'd rather see Indoraptor as being more like a hero rather than a villain. Unless there's 2 Indoraptors. One's bad and one's good. Besides that, tell me what you guys thought about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to outgrow with excellence. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.